Well, this just into CP24. If you're a Taylor Swift fan, you want to listen up. Taylor Swift has announced she will play a slew of shows in Toronto next year. Well, fans will have to wait until November 2024 for Taylor Swift to come to town. She'll play 6 shows at Rogers Centre, November 14th, 15th, 16th, the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd of 2024. And fans can register now through her website for a chance to buy tickets. These are the only Canadian dates that have been announced so far. And with more on this major big concert announcement, we are joined by music expert and commentator Eric Alper. It's always great to chat with you. And as we said off air, it's glad to chat with you and not have to talk about someone who's just passed away. This is big. This is one of the biggest tours of all time, the Eras Tour. Talk a little bit about this impact, this tour, and what do you think it's going to mean to Canadian fans?
Well, it means that I can finally breathe again, because I've been holding my breath ever since that she announced this tour. This is massive. And keep in mind, her last show is going to be on November the 16th and then starts up again on the 21st. So it could be that the 17th to the 20th might actually have more dates announced in between them. But that's just pure speculation. But yeah, this Eras Tour is going to be the biggest in music history. It is going to gross more than $1 billion. That's with a B, and probably just as much money in terms of local economy, with people coming in from out of town and also in town traveling and taking a night. But, the hotels, the restaurants, the parking, the food, the alcohol, the merchandise, the roadies, all of the local economies that are affected when an artist like Taylor Swift comes into your town, it's actually affecting the U.S. GDP when it comes to the rising rates there. So this is massive. And I wonder if we can just thank Justin Trudeau for doing all of it.
Well, I'm glad that you talked about the economic impact, because, from what we've learned so far about this tour, that the economic impact so far, or the earnings, is actually higher than some countries' GDP. So the fact that this one person can come to town and make such an impact on the local economy, it's not just the fans that benefit, it's really the town that she goes to.
Yeah, we're talking anywhere between $50 and $60 million are going to be generated from ticket revenue, and almost that, in terms of equal, is going to be spent on stuff. Right now on the Eras Tour, the average fan is spending almost $1,300 per person on not just tickets, but the merchandise and the hats, and all of those things require people, and sometimes, in some cases, Canadian companies to be made. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. But, if these are the only Canadian dates that are going to be announced, expect to see a lot of out-of-town lights coming to Toronto during that.
And this is such a huge moment for her personally. I mean, especially after, the issues that she had with, her former managers and trying to acquire her masters, having to re-record everything. And then, she comes out with this more music, re-recorded music, and then this just massive world tour. And when you think about it, it really kind of solidifies that, coming out of the pandemic, that, live music is back and bigger than ever.
Yeah, look, in terms of historical value when it comes to Taylor Swift, she just might be the biggest artist since the Beatles back in the early 1960s. And I'm talking about record sales, chart domination, sold out tours. The music industry has never seen a tour like this. That's not just a Swiftie talking. That is actual facts when it comes to the amount of tickets that are being sold for the shortest period of time. Elton John right now has the single biggest, highest grossing tour in music history at just over 900 million. But that was across 4 years, because 2.5 years were canceled due to COVID. This is a continuation of a tour for Taylor Swift's era. It really hasn't stopped and won't stop until the end of November. So I think, the industry has a lot to be thankful for. And I think Taylor Swift should be #1 on everybody's Christmas card list this.
I'm not sure if you caught it, but there was this great segment on Howard Stern's show recently where they put together these clips of newscasters that were reading a story, and his co-host had to guess whether they were talking about Taylor Swift coming to town or whether it was a Category 4 hurricane coming to town, and they couldn't distinguish which was which because they were reporting on store shelves being empty, people boarding up their doors. It was crazy, but this is obviously big news for any Taylor Swift fan out there, and also just a huge moment for women in music, given the fact that you've got Taylor Swift and Beyonce with two of the biggest tours ever right now. Eric Alper, we appreciate your time as always. Great to chat, especially on a happier note. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. We'll talk soon.